It's been a little while now since Persona 5 has been released on all platforms. Matter of fact, I was pretty quiet about it the past couple of weeks. However, now I gotta be honest with you guys. You're an addict. But it's okay, because I understand it. I am too. I'm not your therapist. I'm not trying to help you cope. Matter of fact, I want you to embrace it. Wear your dare shirt proud, but then do it anyways. No matter what they release, Persona 5 is going to be an addiction, and I'm going to tell you exactly why we're addicts. However, you did click on this video, therefore you know the truth. No matter if you want to believe it or not, Persona 5 will always be bottle feeding you. But I did say this before, I don't care where the milk comes from. If it's good, I'm going to drink it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Why are you an addict to Persona 5? Now, as we get started, I would like to say there are plenty of different ways you can be addicted to something. However, for Persona 5, I have picked 4 specific ways that you're probably addicted to this game. With those 4 words, I've made an acronym, CAMP. Now, obviously, I'm not an English teacher, right? I'm doing YouTube. However, I do think that this is a good acronym. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see how down bad you are. Let's get started. The first letter is C. C stands for characters. Persona 5 has some pretty amazing characters. For starters, the main character you start off with, Joker, you should love him because he's you. But if for some reason you don't love yourself, there's plenty of other characters you should love in this series. And I mean, they keep popping up. I'm talking about characters that you don't know their identity until the last 20 minutes of the series. Now, with DLC included, with such a vast variety of characters, I don't know how you can tell me that you don't find any of them interesting. If I narrow the list down to just the Phantom Thieves, none of them are the same. Maybe An and Ryuji are similar, but you can't say they're copy-paste. And the reason I say it is because you have to like one of them. So if you say that you don't like any of the Phantom Thieves, then you don't have a heart. We can't steal nothing from you. Plus, you need to realize, this game is meant to build social status with other characters. As you continue to grow a relationship with different characters, you learn more about their lives and their wants, desires, etc. So I'm sorry, but one of these characters has to be interesting to you. Even if it's the one giving fortunes for money on the street. But that will lead into the next letter, A. Abuse.
Whoa.
I already told you I'm not a teacher. Don't call me Miss Frizzle. If I could think of a better word, I would gladly put it here. However, this one, it just kind of fits. Now, what do I mean? Have you ever noticed that most of these characters that you root for have some kind of tragic backstory? Whether it's the terrible volleyball teacher that's trying to take advantage of a kid, or the man that uses his daughter to have an arranged marriage just so he can get some more cash. Majority of the cast went through something that's pretty abusive, whether that be emotionally, mentally, or physically. But learning about these characters' stories is what gives you more oomph in their personality. The game shows several different antagonists / villains throughout the series, and some of them try to repent for their wrongdoings. Now, I can't say that all of them are, justifiable, but I can't lie that some of them seem to be rational why they do the things they do. Now, I'm not dropping no DLC spoilers, so let me be quiet. But all of these characters end up in the same spot for a reason, and sometimes it's due to abuse. And because that tragic backstory makes you love them more, it's gonna of course make you root for him. But let me make this clear because I know some of y'all be crazy. I am not telling you to root for Kamoshida and be okay with what he is doing. Let's just get that clear because no matter what, that's a no-no. We don't approve of none of that. Now moving into the third reasoning that you're probably addicted to this game is the music. Now I really don't need to tell you that Persona 5 has dummy bops. And realistically, it's the whole series. However, in P5, Lyn does an amazing job. Now, of course, because of copyright and video reasons, I can't play 15 minutes of P5 songs. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't be listening to 15 minutes of P5 songs. I mean, you got these bad boys on Spotify and iTunes. But the reason this is so important is because music is a part of our lives everywhere. Now, I don't want to hear you saying, I don't like music. That's cap. If you've ever put on some Drake beats, some Apple AirPods, some Raycons, then you've listened to some type of music. It doesn't matter if it's rap, country, I don't really care. You've listened to something. And that even goes if you're just humming or whistling, I promise you like something. And if you still say you don't like music, then bro, you're miserable. But because Persona 5 has some jazz music going on, it gives it a different type of groove. And rather if it's Lyn singing this during a battle, or if you're just running on a subway and the rain's falling. And it makes this game very addicting. And besides, it seems that Lyn is being used more and more. And Sega Team just had her singing Escape from the City. But why? The game's not getting a re-release, you can barely find yourself a copy, so what is it that makes people want to hear it? Because the music's a bop, and they picked her because she's a bop. But that's enough about the music. Let's get into the last reasoning and probably the most important of them all. The last letter is P, and P stands for perfection. Now let me Dexter Lab and break this down for you. What do I mean by perfection? I mean that you want to do everything possible in this game. Being perfect at something is human nature. This game knows you're going to want to do all the content. Therefore, it's possible with one playthrough to do everything to 100% completion. And to make you want to do it, they give you indicators such as a calendar. With the calendar system, it's going to tell your brain that every day matters, and it does. But when you realize social stats and confidants actually matter, every single day becomes a little bit tighter. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever played a game where you have to save in front of a boss or before you do something important? What about running around to get all the items or finish all the side quests? These are some examples that you're a perfectionist. You want to do it the right way. So in Persona 5, because every day matters, you're going to make sure you get the fullest out of each one of them. And I'll tell you, that's what causes an addiction. But while there's other details within these words and other reasonings as well, I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. But these are the 4 reasons that you're addicted to Persona 5. Now let me know if you think that there's any other reasonings that you believe this game is your lifeblood. I could probably do a part 2 or something similar to this again, but you gotta show me that you want to see Persona. And again, hear me out. Addictions, they can be positive too. They don't have to be a bad thing. So that means if you're on your 15th playthrough of Persona 5 Royal, I'm not gonna stop you. Go ahead and do what you want to do. And with that, thank y'all for watching. I really appreciate it. Consider looking at the Patreon and subscribe to the channel to see more. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a good one. Later.